Hey guys, welcome to the channel. You're on Fast Entrepreneur. I want to talk about something that I think is quite serious. So if you don't know me, well, you do. Well, you're welcome. I want to talk about AI psychosis. What is it? I'm still trying to figure it out, but I want to share my journey. I do think it's important. And basically, here's what happened. So if you've been following the channel, you know that I follow a lot of these trends. Sometimes I dabble, and sometimes I go all in on things. But I do find some time to reflect. Well, what happened was I got pretty excited about the open claw moment, and after just a brief stint with that and learning and watching and seeing what I don't know, I told myself back then, I said, I think it's important that I take 2 weeks, pray about it, research it, see where it's at. Things might change, and that's what happened. But more recently, I decided to follow the trend with the intent of taking action quite soon. And just last weekend I did set up, the Claude Co-work through Dispatch and also a Hermes agent, and started to just kind of experiment and play around. And I gotta say, it's a lot more powerful than I had expected, or things have come a long way, I think, just in 6 months and really in 3 months. And it really was pretty seamless. The costs, I think, are manageable, but for the most part, pretty pleased. Well, anyways, this video is about AI psychosis because what I started to realize was, it was just on my mind all day, thinking of all the possibilities, which is exciting and powerful. But I realized, 3-4 days into it, wow, this thing could really consume you. And I didn't know what to do. Do I just keep going and press harder? But then I realized, but life has to keep going on, and there's responsibilities and relationships and other things. And so here was my decision, at least in the moment. I got to take at least a break and focus on the right here, the right now. And so that was yesterday. It's not that I'm not still using, AI or learning, just with chatbots, but I decided that with the automation piece, just to take a breather. Now, in my mind, I was like, oh, maybe I'll take a week. I don't actually know if I will take a full week. Right now, it's been 1 day. And already I've noticed, wow, this is pretty tough. This is not as easy as I thought it was going to be, just to take a little hiatus. So anyways, I was researching a little bit about AI psychosis. I want to know if other people were feeling the same way. And I guess I'm not alone. So, to me, I know that I'm most likely going back to using systems and building, but the idea of this is to take a short breather early on before I go into it, so that I can kind of be prepared and be aware of what potentially these systems are doing, and how to manage my own thoughts, psyche, emotion, and just real life. What good is it to lose yourself in these things? So anyways, that's AI psychosis. I don't actually know what it is. I don't even know if it's a real diagnosis. Maybe it is, but I can definitely see that this can be an issue when you start to realize that not only are these things just smart, but the actions that they do with the speed that they do, it's like almost like, it feels like like superpowers. It's or you could say digital workers or assistants, but it really does feel like extensions. And the more you go down this rabbit hole, just in a few days, my next thing, the next two things so I set up the system good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, but good enough for to get going. Ran a few tests, things look good. A few business ideas, launched a few products live. Stuff just goes out and does it. And so the next thing is I want to set up an obsidian brain, and I think that's going to be a little bit of a brain dump. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but the purpose is to get the system to know at least as much as I want it to know about me and my desires and moving forward goals, and then have the system use that for the next piece, which is to create a digital clone, a digital avatar that can actually basically act and behave like I would. It could take calls, it could answer questions, it could write business plans, it could seek investors, it could do investor pitches. In theory, maybe, completely all without me, and then it frees, then I can step in when I want to, but, I just want to keep, thinking what I want to build and how I want to do it. But also, again, this video is about the AI, because how do I do things so that I can manage, myself and enjoy life? And, in the meantime, I have noticed just in the last day, so since I'm not focused on like the building and the running the systems, what am I doing? Was doing a little bit more research just on like practical timelines, because here was the thought. I mean, if this is where we're at in 2026 in May, and in just a few short days after really, testing a few things on these systems and be like, wow, seeing where this is, seeing what the things that I think I might be able to do just as they are now, and then saying, okay, asking and having a conversation, well, what does this look like 6 months, a year, or 2 months, or 2 years from now? And I think that's where I just kind of blew me away. It was like the time frame of if you want to build something, build it, because it may just be commoditized, democratized, and or free in a relatively short period of time. So I'm not saying don't do it, but I also want to be aware of that. So that's going into my thinking. So I might spend a little bit of time. I don't know when I'm going to start building again, but anyways, I want to share that with y'all. That's kind of on my agenda, and it's okay if I take this whole week off. That's fine. It's okay if I do a little research, and it's also okay if I start dabbling again or start building. But that's where my mind is right now, and I'm just sharing this as I go. And again, the ultimate goal is the stream of consciousness. So I already set up the system for all intents and purposes to just as I speak, detect what I want to do, go build it. It's not perfect, but I could definitely see it working. I see glimpses of it, and I'd like to be able to, wherever modality I'm at, like if I'm making a YouTube video, automatically just look at my YouTube videos, work with my obsidian brain, make that stuff happen. So I could just be on videos, just kind of talking and sharing, and hopefully having products and things being shipped. Haven't set that part up yet, but actually I'll have to check on that. I might have set that up. It's funny, because a lot of the stuff I'm speaking, I'm actually not going back to check what it's even setting up, which is interesting. And that's on, I also want to, I'm just realizing there's a lot more going on than I thought. So I want to set up these systems so that I feel comfortable, and also I want to set them up so that I have a way of tracking for myself, and then also just hand them off to, eventually make this fully autonomous, hand it off to agents, and and then have my agents work with other agents. And so that's other things that I'm thinking of, and have dabbled and started building a little bit as well. So all right, that's all I got. Peace. Enjoy your week. If I don't talk to you, maybe I will, though. Again, I don't get a lot of views, and that's okay, because I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and if other people want to join or follow, I welcome it. Peace.